Hello everyone, I am back with another video. Oh my gosh, okay, so one down, two to go, including this one? I don't know. Anyways, here we have the Spiral Tarot by Kay Steventon. Yes, Kay Steventon right there. I always wanted to call her Kay Stevenson, Kay Stevenson or something like that. But no, that was incorrect. Now, I do wish that the guidebook was much more readily available for this deck, because there's a lot of like little symbols and stuff like that I'm like, girl, explain why you put those there for some people who may not be familiar with some of the associations with this, but whatevs, you know, it's where we are. So I'm gonna see how much the little white book has on the Fool, and then we'll see how it is, see how it goes from there. Oh honey, oh, this is a little bit. Let's see. The Fool is represented by a young man. He kneels in awe at the sight of the Holy Grail. Okay. An angel guides him on his way. A black cat instinctively senses danger, in contrast to the Fool, who is fearless. Okay, yeah, but, you know, like, why is the Tree of Life here? Why Aleph is right here and here, you know? You know what I mean? What are these birds doing here, you know? Just, these are like little questions that I want answered, you know. Just, you know, I feel like people should know what these answers, should have these answers. I will say the borders are a little bit annoying, but I'm kind of getting used to them, and honestly, how the deck feels in my hands, it feels really nice, even though it's like a smaller deck. It's around the same, let me see, in comparison to a normal Rider-Waite-Smith, I want to say it's the same width. It just might be shorter, yeah. Oh, wait, a little bit thinner and a little bit shorter, but yeah, a little bit shorter, a lot shorter, what am I saying? And just a tad thinner, but for some reason it just feels nice in the hands compared to like even a standard Rider-Waite-Smith size. Hold on, I'm gonna try and readjust this, because I feel like this isn't doing the cards justice. Well, you know what? I think we're just gonna bear through it. I might just have to re-record it. If not, you know, we'll just see how it goes, if it comes out how I want it, so. Yeah, because it's like, it's so small, yet it's so intricate, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the cards. So it's like, you know, it's like you have a bunch of, like, you have all the suit symbols right here all over his cloak. You have, what is that? What is he doing with this one? You know, the as above, so below, you know, of the caduceus. Well, it's a really weird caduceus either way. Here we have the Tree of Life really hidden within the clouds here. Again, why she puts the Tree of Life in each one is a little bit confusing. Sometimes I do notice that it does, like, the path associated with the card does seem to be a little bit highlighted. So here you can see this top one right here, connecting the top Sephiroth with Tifereth right here at this top one seems a little bit brighter compared to the rest of the paths. But for the most part, like this one, you can't really tell, you know, because it should be one of these two top ones. And with the Fool, it should be the same, but all the paths look the same. You know, you can't really tell. Also, backs, love the backs. I love the blue on these backs. Just a random little insert there. But yeah, here you have the Empress. Very beautiful. Again, the cards are very, very beautiful, but again, I feel like it leaves a lot to be desired. In terms of like information wise, I would love the book, but from what I see, I don't know how much information is on the book, on this stuff. So yeah, here we have the Emperor with the letter He, and He goes in that path right there. That is obviously stands out obviously against the rest of the other paths. You know, here we have the Hierophant. Very interesting. I get a lot of mixes between the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth. You know, here we have the Lovers. Beautiful Lovers card. I will say one thing that's a little bit disappointing is that, you know, it's just full of white people. You know, but again, what do you do? You know, what do you do? Here we have strength. So here's the tree of life here. I wonder why the tree of life is put in all these places here. Now what does this symbol mean? What is that? I've never seen that symbol before. And here we have the hermit. The wheel of fortune. I love this wheel of fortune. I love how it just looks so cosmic. Oh my gosh. I feel like I need to, let me just see if I can just bring this closer in. There we go. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit scrunched in there, but hopefully you can focus on this. It's just so dark here because it's cloudy where I'm at right now. So yeah, here we have justice, the peacock feathers. We have the two pillars, and you get pretty much everything that's traditional here. You get the scales of Ma'at here. You get this astrological sign of Libra. It's all there, but like, what's that symbol right there on his leg? I don't know what that means. Let me see. I highly doubt it probably won't explain it. And in here, let's see. The hangman is suspended in time between past and the future. You are being asked to surrender some part. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a little disappointing. Okay, like, okay, they probably took a note from Los Garabeos, that guidebooks, and only put a little insert there. And here we have death, and it's like, first of all, like, this death is really cool. Don't get me wrong, I love these cards, and I love the contrast between like death and temperance, because death is like black and dark, and here we have temperance, which is like rainbows and full of colors. I love it. But the guidebook to this deck is really hard to get your hands on, like, well, for most of her decks, and honestly I feel like this deck kind of needs it, because there's a lot of stuff in here that's like, why'd you put this here? Why'd you put that there? I love this star card. I love the lotuses here. I do like how she put the elemental associations as well within the major arcana. That's something that you don't really see, surprisingly, in a lot of decks for some reason. But you do see like the astrological and the Hebrew letter. Hold on, let me see what this is on the bottom of it. Oh, that's right. Here you have like Apollo at the very bottom of her feet. Get the god of the sun with his chariot. Here you have judgment. Very strange judgment, like they're coming out of a cave. Here you have the world. This is a very, very busy world card. If it would stay still. You see, you get the 4 tetramorphs here. You got there's a lot going on here. Get the alchemical symbol for the philosopher's stone. She's a caduceus here with the 2 snakes, if you look closely, interweaving between her. There's these 2 angels on her side too. Very interesting. Here we have the Ace of Wands. This one kind of reminds me. Her art style kind of reminds me of the Heindel Tarot a lot, but then it's like, well, this one does. The hand in particular kind of does. Then we have here, let me go back to autofocus, if it'll work with me. Here I have the 2 of Wands, the 3, again, it does kind of conflict with like some Victorian looking aesthetics. So far, like the past few ones have been. Here's the 5, obviously. 6. 7, very Amish. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Here's the 8 of Wands. Very, this card kind of reminds me of that argument of wands and swords being elementally switched. So could wands be air? Like, who knows? Here we have the 9 of Wands. Again, still going with that Victorian theme. 10 of Wands. The Princess of Wands. I do love the courts here. I will say that. Here I have the Knight. The Queen. And here we have the King. I love this King of Wands with the dragon surrounding him, kind of making an Ouroboros, I believe, with his whole body, if you see that. Here we have the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, the 3, 4, very tumultuous 5 of Cups, 6, kind of reminds me of like the Victorian Romantic a little bit, but with her art style. You have the 7 of Cups. I love the pattern on her dress. You have the 8 of Cups. This one reminds me of Persephone, and it kind of makes sense. It's Persephone either entering the underworld, leaving behind her world, leaving behind the world that she knows with her mother Demeter, or it's her leaving, leaving Hades and going back to Olympus to be with her mother. With the pomegranates here especially, does look like that. Does insinuate that. The 9 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Very interesting how it kind of looks similar to the Ace. That's probably intentional. Let me put it next to each other. If you see that. Very interesting. Very interesting. Wish I could read about it, but too bad. Princess of Cups. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. I will say I do like the Kings here. I love how her artwork is just so intricate. I love it. Ace of Swords here. Very different Ace of Swords for some reason. To me, at least. 2 of Swords. The 3 of Swords. A breakup. People going their separate ways. The 4 of Swords. She honestly looks so comfortable in that blanket. 5 of Swords. Oh look, it's a recreation of the Titanic. Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio. I'll never let go, Jack. There was room on that piece of furniture. We all know it. 6 of Swords. I love the blues in this. 7. The Fox. The 8. The 9. I like how it's like a callback to the Rider-Waite-Smith with the astrological signs on the blanket here. The 10, a very interesting 10. I do like the stark, bright light and then the darkness around them. It's very interesting. The use of color and light in this deck is very interesting. Princess of Swords. Are all the princesses sitting on the ground? If so, then that's very interesting because they are the earth of their element. Here's the Knight. The Queen. Look at her. Look at her. Do not fuck with her. Here's the King. Very creepy King. Here I have the Ace of Pentacles. Kind of reminds me of the Tarot of Delphi. Here you have the 2 of Pentacles. Very gestury. 3 of Pentacles. She's on a stage. 4 of Pentacles. The 5. 6. Very interesting how it's usually the 6 of Pentacles card of charity and giving, giving the excess to those who are in need. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7 6s. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. A black king, an old beggar, and a woman come together. Giving and receiving with no strings attached. You share gifts of love or material values with others, and they with you. Strange how this is the only representation of a person of color, though he is king, but again, wish there was more. 7. The 8. 9. You know, like how there's butterflies around her hat. The 10, I love this 10. It's like with the ancestors and their family tree, kind of, but it's a tree of life. You have the Princess of Pentacles. Yeah, I think all the princesses are like sitting on the ground, which would make sense. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen, and the King. Again, they're like, the patterns on their outfits are so intricate. So yeah, let me see. Did I put this back in order right? Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting deck. I do wish, again, I'm gonna repeat it because it needs to be repeated. I think it does need a good guidebook with it. It's really tricky to get your hands on, though. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for it, or unless, you know, I don't know. I might read too much into it, and you know, but again, if I can read too much into it, then I guess it's doing its job as a tarot card, honestly, if you think about it, you know. I just love shuffling this deck. It feels so nice in the hands. Sorry for like shuffling off camera, it's just that the camera's so low. Here, let me see if I can raise it up a little bit so you guys can see. Again, it's a little cramped here because of how close the camera is. It shuffles nicely, but it is a very, very stiff cardstock, I will say that. And especially with the short size of it, it makes it even more stiffer. You know, the smaller the card, you know, you don't have to use such thick cardstock because you know, the smaller the card, the thicker the cardstock. You know, but the larger the card, you have to go thicker because then you just get a wobbly, weak card. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about this deck. It just looks so beautiful. I do wish the borders were a little bit different. I wish the borders were like this dark blue, maybe, or something. You know, just an idea. You know. I do love how they look, though. It would. I wish this was borderless. Ugh, it would look so cool. But I don't want to trim it because it feels so nice in the hands. I don't want to ruin that because it just feels so good in the hands. It just feels right, you know. Like I can just be lounging around and just shuffle these all day. You know, and this is just plain US Games cardstock. I was afraid it was going to be like super glossy, weird laminated type of cardstock, but it's very, very, very similar to the Heindel Tarot lamination. Same with her other deck, the Celestial Tarot, which I'm going to do a walkthrough of right after this one. So yeah, very, very. This is a deck that surprised me, honestly. I thought like, okay, let's just see what this is. If I don't like it, then I can just return it and get something else, you know. But this one is not going anywhere. Same with the Celestial Tarot so far, from what I've seen from it. So yeah, one other thing is I think it should come in a tin. Like I think it's like a weird size that it would be nice to come in a big tin because this box, you know, it's I feel like it ain't gonna last. So yeah, but again, usually my boxes do last for quite some time. So yeah, this has been a walkthrough of the Spiral Tarot. It's readily available on Amazon. The guidebook though needs to come back in print. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Bye.